Ba 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 ba.
Oh.
This is amateur hour? Like, what the heck?
It is amateur hour.
Is it even recording?
It
Or did
is
you say it's stopped?
Well, it was blurry at first. It's recording now.
Hi, again.
Hello again. Welcome back to the Homemade Show. So,
I'm your host,
Yep.
Jim.
no, I'm Jim. He's Max Headroom.
That's Jim. What?
Max Headroom. Because you're in a box on a screen.
No.
Yeah. So we just watched a video on Mashable that we're going to talk about. And there's going to be a link in the description. What did you think of the video, Kyle? Based on what you know, what did you think of that video? That's it.
I don't know what to say.
You don't know what to say?
It was cool.
Cool. So it talks about human evolution.
Weird. Do you believe in evolution?
No, I don't. Well, actually, I have to rephrase that. I believe in something called microevolution, but not something called macroevolution. Do you know the difference?
Nope.
Macroevolution is like an ape turning into a human, and microevolution is like a cat turning into a lion or a leopard or a panther or a puma or something like that. So
That can't happen.
yeah, it does happen. So those are different species of the same animal. So they're all cats, but there's a lion and there's a panther and there's a cheetah and there's a puma, there's a bobcat and there's a house cat. Those are all cats. So they're one kind called a cat, but they're different species of cat. You don't get it?
No, I get it. I just never thought of that.
Yeah, that's it's called it's through natural selection. So ultimately, there would have been one cat or a couple of cats that would have had very very dense genetics inside them, very very dense DNA. So lots of different kinds of DNA for all these different types of animals, and through natural selection, all these different kinds of animals would have been formed because anything around them that was different would have died, leaving only the animal that we see, like a lion or a tiger or whatever.
That's kind of insane.
That's what happens. So the environment formed the animals based on their genetics, but it had to have started with an original animal that had all the genetics in them. All the genetics for all those animals. That's natural selection.
What about unnatural selection?
There's nothing called unnatural selection. So let's get back to the video.
You're the one who went on all about this evolution.
Well, because
of
you're like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? So I had to explain it to you. So in the video, they went off and talked about evolution, how talking about it like it's a fact, and I just don't agree with it. So the reason I'm talking about this is because part of me being so upset, I'm upset about this, is because you see in news and media and online how people talk about evolution and news programs cover it like it's a fact. Nobody ever talks about an alternative. Evolution was actually disproven a long time ago, but scientists believe, some scientists keep pushing it like it's a fact, and it isn't. And so I want to disprove some of this stuff right now. So in the video, they talked about human beings. I'm going to try to go through the video as it talked about stuff, and you'll be able to watch it from the description.
Some scientists are stupid.
That's true. So in the video, they first talked about humans being the same species. They just mentioned that. That's true. They called us Homo sapiens. That's what the scientists call us. But it's true, we're the same species. We were created by God. There was Adam and Eve. Human beings. Those are the only two. Every other human being came out of Adam and Eve. Just like you come out of your mother and father, I came out of my mother and father. If you go backwards in time, there, it could have started with two people, because every person comes from two people. Go backwards in time, you have Adam and Eve. We're all the same human being, no matter what color skin you are. Human being. Then they talked about alligators and crocodiles, and that's the reason you have alligators and crocodiles looking the same. They cannot actually mate with each other, but they look almost identical, right? They look almost identical, right? They can't mate with each other, though because they look so identical, you can conclude that they probably came from the same animal. But the reason they can't mate together anymore is because they became different species in kind of like the same kind again. So one's an alligator, one's a crocodile, but their genes have changed so much inside that they can no longer mate. So you have an alligator and you have a crocodile, and they can't mix anymore. So, but again, because you got two, and they look almost identical, they had to have started with one, and it split off. So one of them had dense genetic material inside, dense genetic information, and over time and through natural selection, they split off into an alligator and a crocodile, and they became so genetically specific that they can no longer mate with each other. And that's how you got an alligator and crocodile. Then they talked about, I'm going kind of fast, they talked about human evolution, how a lot of stuff about it is not agreed upon, only a small amount, and that's because there's very little evidence for it at all. That's why they said that. There's barely any evidence for it. They say, oh, very little bit there is some things that are agreed upon, because there's so much contradictory information. That's why. They can't agree on how or why evolution would work. And they also can't take evolution to the point of going from ape to human. They still haven't been able to do that, because it never happened. That's why.
Not even possible.
No, it's not possible, and they can't prove it. They never prove it. And I'm going to get to something else on that later. And they talked about, and they just say this in that video as sort of an off thing, that humans went from smaller brains to larger brains, and all of a sudden we were able to do more stuff. They said we evolved the brain, so it went forward in evolution. But that can't happen. The reason is because evolution uses something called a mutation in order to explain how, like, we could go from an ape to a human, or how a dinosaur could go from having scales to feathers. They call those genetic mutations. So they're saying that the genes inside that animal had a mutation which changed it and allowed it to create something different or something better. The problem with that is that when a mutation happens, what that does is it damages something. It does change something, but it damages it, and you actually lose genetic information. So you cannot possibly go from scales to feathers while you're losing genetic information. There's no way it can work. There's no new information being added. So they can't gain the information for feathers when they had scales through a mutation, because they're actually losing genetic information. They can't create something new that way. Sometimes it changes an animal and makes them lose something, which does change them, but they can't gain something new like scales to feathers. It doesn't happen that way. It's just wrong.
Can something even be mutated?
Yeah, you can have mutations, but they're always damaging. Somehow they're always damaging. I'll give you another example. You know how they have kitchen cleaners? They say they're antibacterial, and they're 99.9%. They'll kill 99.9% of bacteria.
Yeah.
What that's doing is, when you have a pool of, say you have a pool of water on the counter and it has this bacteria in it, okay? When you spray the cleaner on the countertop, you kill off a large group of the bacteria. You kill off 99.9% of the bacteria. If there's 0.1% of the bacteria that has a mutation, it may have lost information, making it incapable of having that cleaner kill it, because of the process the bacteria uses to bring that cleaner into itself. It usually kills it. But if they lose the ability to bring that cleaner in, they can't die. They can't die from it, because they can no longer bring it in and allow it to do what it does and kill it. So it'll kill off 99.9%, but that 0.1% has a mutation that can't do that anymore. So what happens is that because of the mutation, that little bit of bacteria is changed, and what can happen is you kill off 99.9% of them, and then that 0.1% can then begin to multiply like bacteria normally do. The cells multiply, and you'll end up with the bacterial resistant bacteria, because the only ones that were left had a mutation that prevented it from taking in this bacteria and allowing it to die. So that's how we get antibacterial resistant colds and viruses. Have you heard of that? You've heard of some of that probably. That can be done on a countertop as an experiment. You'd need a microscope and stuff to do it, but you could do it. But that's an example of like natural selection or genetic mutation causing an animal or a cell to be changed in a way that it's like a benefit, where people would say, oh, it evolved because now it can't be killed by this thing anymore. But it actually is a loss of information. It lost the ability to do something, and that's why the antibacterial cleaner won't kill it. So people would say,
It's
oh,
really
look,
weird.
oh, look, it evolved, but it didn't actually evolve. So millions of years, they talked about that. And they talk about how over millions of years, all these different human species showed up. Or there are so many over the millions of years. Yeah, well, that's what they say. Like these ancestral species, like half ape, half human, they talked about that. But the millions of years of Earth history has never been proven either.
Half ape, half human.
Yeah, speaking of that, now I'll go to this. So I believe that the Bible is true, and that the millions of years, they don't even exist. That's a made up thing. The theory was made up of millions of years because of how long it would take for apes to evolve into humans, which can't happen anyway. So just throw all that out. Now, the ape they talked about at the end was named Lucy. Have you ever heard of Lucy, the ape, or the half man, half ape? You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard the name Lucy.
Yeah, and you saw it in the video because you watched the video, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might have even seen a video of that ape.
Yeah. I'm going to show you the bones of the ape. This is exactly what they found. Okay? So I'll show it to you, and then I'll show it to the camera. Ready?
Let's see it.
Yeah, here it is.
Did you print it?
I printed it out on a piece of paper. See that?
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, see the skeleton? This is exactly the amount of bones that they found. You see the head even? It's just jaws and like fragments.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me
And
show
the ribs.
the camera. This is what they found. That is Lucy.
That is Lucy.
This is Lucy. That's it.
What?
And then they somehow they went from this to this.
That looks like Caesar.
Let's see that?
Yeah, it's a monkey.
Yeah, it's a monkey, but look at what it looks like. Human eyes, humanoid nose, mouth.
Kind of human mouth.
How do you go from this to that? How do you get there?
I don't know.
They got a goofy picture
I
of her
think
too,
you're
right?
making this up.
This is Lucy. This is exactly what they think. This is the bones.
Basically a creation.
Right. How can you get that from that?
Mutating.
No. I mean, if this is all you found on the ground.
Yeah.
If this is all you found on the ground or in the ground, how do you get there?
Do you know how?
Yeah, they made it up. That's how. It's not possible. You can't come up with that.
Why did they make that up?
You can't come up with this from this unless you have wishful thinking.
Unless you're Frankenstein.
Right. But that's what they did. This is Lucy. This is all they found. And this is what they drew it up as, basically.
Why?
Because this is why, okay? This is why. Because evolutionary scientists want to keep their funding to keep doing their research. So they try to create these amazing finds that are like, oh, look, it's groundbreaking. This is the missing link. Well, I'm sorry, but Lucy has already been proven to be a knuckle walking ape. And you can't really get.
Wait, is there actually an ape out there named Lucy?
Yeah, this is it. This is it. No, there's not like a real life ape. This is an extinct animal.
Yeah.
So they found the bones, but this animal doesn't exist on the earth anymore. So at one point there was an ape on the earth named Lucy that was this species of ape. But they found it and they're like, oh look, it must be a missing link because we want it to be.
Let's draw it to make it look like a human.
Right, and they got to this thing. They got there. It's not possible.
So wait, there are no videos of Lucy, is there?
No, because it's extinct. The only thing they ever found of Lucy was this fossil.
Okay, then it wasn't. I did see videos of like a smart ape, but like.
Oh yeah, but
not
that's just like a monkey or something, right?
You made me appear foolish.
What?
You made me appear foolish.
No, I didn't. But it's like a mon. It's just like a monkey. That's what you saw, like a monkey versus a human or something, or just an ape doing something that shows their intellect,
ape
right?
that was pretty intelligent.
Yeah, so they are intelligent, but they are just an animal.
But I said in the video, I was like, I might have seen a video on Lucy, thinking she existed.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, I thought you meant like a documentary video or something.
Because I did hear the name Lucy before.
Yeah.
From someone.
Well, I'd like to hear people's comments in the. If you see this video, comment. If you want to subscribe, because we'll do other ones like this, do it. Subscribe, comment, whatever.
We're probably gonna get hate comments.
Go ahead. We'll take them on.
Call us retards.
Go ahead and we'll take them on. I'll provide as many answers as I can to whatever comments we get on this video.
This guy will not prevent. This guy will give answers to everything.
This guy will do it. But that's all we have for this week. We're going to put the Mashable video in there, and you can look at it, and then you can watch this video and see the answers I gave. And if you want more info, I'll give it. Just tell me. If you want to flame us, whatever, I'll take it all on, and we'll try to give all... Well, we'll try to give as many answers as we can, because I have answers, and we can have hopefully a civilized discussion. I hope. Civilized discussion. But that's all.
That's it?
What?
Is that all?
That's all we have for this video.
I thought you had more stuff to say.
No, that's it for this video.
Like, subscribe, favorite.
Comment, please. We'll see you next time.
Give us your hate. We want your hate comments.
No, we don't. We don't want the hate comments. We just want we want a discussion. If you want to have a discussion, we don't want the hate comments.
But they're there. We'll take them.
He'll take the hate comments. I will take the logical discussion. Okay. But we'll see you next time. We'll have more videos coming.
See ya.
See ya.